Hello again.
Oh, I wish these meetings would spread out during the week a bit better. All comes together at a bit of a anyway, not to worry. Hi again, Ben.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Hi. Hi, good.
Hi, Chris.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
Can you hear me?
Unless anybody else has done it, I'm just replying to Robin, who wants the link. So
Okay, I hope you all had a nice Easter break. And yeah, me too, although it's here very cold now. It's like almost back to winter.
yeah, pretty much the same here. It's probably getting to us a day before you, I
Yeah.
think. Seems to be how it goes. Ours is very much coming from the west at the moment, sort of
Yeah.
northwest. So.
Yeah. So we have to wait still a bit for spring.
Well, we had spring and all the flowers are now squashed flat by the frost again. So yeah, they'll recover.
Yeah, okay. So this morning I sent around the latest version of the paper. So I downloaded the document from Google Docs and worked on it further as a Word document, because at some point that just works better because of formatting and so on. And I think we should also now continue in that way. So today I actually wanted to discuss a bit how to organize that. And I don't know if you have had a chance to look at the document. It's not complete yet because we still have to write the discussion. And there are still a couple of points where there is a gap. So one thing is in the data section, there's still a section that should be, or maybe could be there, about data for quali and economic modeling. So I'm going to ask Matt whether he can write something there. Yeah, and then it's mainly the discussion. And on the other hand, I mean, we already have like 12,000 words, so we can't really add anything now. It's more that we should maybe delete or shorten things. And yeah, I've done a bit of editing in that direction, but yeah, more has to be done. I've also included a kind of first draft of a figure, but it's not really very enthusiastic yet about it. So I'm still going to think more about how to add more information to it. And then what I also wanted to add is a table that kind of summarizes the various challenges from the different sections. And maybe that's something that one of the group could help me with. So just going through the document and putting the most important challenges that are mentioned in the text into a table so that it's kind of easier to read. And then another thing that I need help with is the references. So somebody should go through the document and check whether references have to be added at points, and then to also add them in the list of references, which is now ordered alphabetically. And that's also, I think, in accordance with the epidemics guidelines. So if you add a reference, then also add it into the list at the right place, so in alphabetical order. Yeah, what else should I say? There are still remarks also in the text that I haven't yet resolved, or at least not completely. So I still left them there. But some of them I have resolved, and in the version I sent around, there are still some that I actually worked on this morning still. So what you have is even not the latest version now, because I continued working on it. So one thing that we should somehow decide on is how to do this, because I mean, I don't want to, let's say, always add on things from various different documents. So it's fine if one person adds track changes and sends it back to me, but I don't want to like have to add track changes from various people from different documents. So that's why we should somehow organize this. And one way we could do it is that we kind of make a timetable who works when on the document, and then sends it on to the next person. I don't know, how do other groups do this, Valerie? And
mostly they've been working on copies, their own copies of the document, and then sort of and then getting merged. So each person is editing a separate copy, so that one doesn't. But
okay, but then I mean, then one person has to merge all the stuff, and that's a lot of work.
What depends. A question is whether changes are going to be on a section by section basis, or people are going to be changing across the whole thing. If it's just section by section, then they could make a, then they could, and perhaps we could agree who is most responsible for which sections. You could say these two people will be working on 4.4,
Mhm.
and they can do whatever they like on that, and then they put maybe just that section on its own
Oh,
as
yeah.
a contribution.
Right, that's a good idea, yeah. Then
Um,
then I can just copy and paste the new text into a
yeah. So
master.
I think I would suggest that, and then if people have suggestions that go across sections, like they say this part of 4.4 should really be in 4.3 or something like that, they should just put that in an email to you, so that when you stick it back together, you can take account of
Yeah, or as a
overarching
comment.
comments.
Yeah, or as a comment. So
Or as a
not,
comment, yeah.
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 Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's a
So for
good
instance, yeah,
suggestion.
to keep it simple, you could say if you produce a new version of section 4.4, then you might have that as a separate Word document. But at the very beginning of that, you might like to propose anything else you wish to
Mhm.
just say, here are
Yeah,
some notes. I would
Yeah.
also suggest that we make these other changes or something like that. Then
Yeah.
that would be easy for you, I think, putting it together.
Mm. Okay, yeah, that's a very good idea. So everybody who works on a section copies it from the document, works on it, and sends me a separate document with only that section.
Yeah, and if they're going in the Dropbox, you know, if you're doing a new version of 4.4, then you should do 4.4 and maybe put your initials at the end of it or something, if you want other people to be able to see what you're doing.
Mm.
So in that, while I'm talking of the Dropbox, Miriam, is there anything we need to keep in the Dropbox? Do you want to, there's at the moment, I saved what you sent this morning as a PDF, which is there.
Oh, yeah.
And there is the Google Doc, and there's a very nice photograph from the 1918 in
Oh, yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah, that's
But I
interesting.
think I would suggest that everything else could be moved to the archive. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And I think that would be a good idea, because if people are now going to start putting in drafts of section 4.4, section whatever, it'll be easier for people to see what's happening than while we have all these old drafts there.
Mhm.
So I'll just do that, and it's only moving it to the archive. So if something has been lost, you should be able to still to find it there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. So then we have only, let's say from now on, only new parts of text in the Dropbox, starting with today.
Miriam, to get things started, do you want me to, I can go through section 3 if you want, because that's the one I went through before. So I can go through that again, because I think there are a few additional comments that have been added to it.
Mm-hmm.
If I go through section 3 and do exactly what you just said, and then if there are any references that are added, do you want me to leave them just at the bottom of the new section 3 document for you to then integrate into the master copy?
Yeah, great.
Does that work?
Very
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe I'll should I make kind of a table where I put names who works on which section, or can you organize it, let's say, by yourself? I don't want to be like a school teacher here. So actually it should be possible that you organize it, especially if you put the stuff in the Dropbox and people can look at what has been done to a specific section. Okay, great idea. Then let's do that. Then
maybe while we're all here, people should we not just go through the sections and people say who wish to make sure that each section has at least one person assigned to it.
Okay.
And then you have a note of.
Okay. Do you all?
Or even if you just put one person in charge of each section, then anyone else who wants to edit that section should make sure they work with that person.
Okay.
That sounds good. Yeah. So I'll take section 3.
Okay. I can put that also in the
you can put that in the document at the title of the section. You just put in brackets the lead person.
Okay, so then I put Robin for section 3.
Sure.
Section 6, because that's the one that I've been working on. So I guess I contributed more on section 3. So as Robin is taking a look at it, so maybe I can coordinate with him?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
That's good. Yeah, sounds good.
yeah. Okay.
Okay,
I can
section.
coordinate section 2 and email people who I want help from.
Who's that?
So I can lead section 2.
Okay.
Then I'll speak to Ghana and Lorenzo and Francesca for help, and Daniel with the specific bits.
And what's her name? Jasmina. She also worked.
Oh, yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I think if you want all the names, then I think the other people that contributed a lot to section 3 are Ben Ashby did a lot.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not going to write all the names
Okay,
now. I'm now writing one name per section. So
Great, we can coordinate with that. Yeah, that's cool.
And also not all the names are yet on the, let's say, there as authors. So please also add your name then to the author list. So I have Chris for section 2. I will put myself for the introduction.
I think Liz is quite busy. I'm happy to look at the behavior bit.
Okay, wait, where are we now? Let's see.
I think that's fine.
Section 5. So where are we? And then we have, well, okay, I'll ask Matt to look at section 7. He can't be here this afternoon, but he said he had some time next week.
Did you get me down for 6 for him?
Okay, Ben for section 6.
Just leave, does that just leave 4? Have you covered 4?
That's Ben's
Help
follow,
with
right?
4.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, for 6.
Yeah, that leaves section 4. That's about vaccination and treatment as prevention.
I can help with 4 if needed. I just wanted to ask, so when you say work on section, you mean to check the text and the references, right?
Yeah, to see whether maybe the text can be streamlined, because there are now some repetitions at some points, and also check whether we need some references still, so that we have the key references for that topic. I mean, of course, we can't be complete because then we would have hundreds of references, I guess. But just like the most important ones. So Francesca, you want to do the section, what was it, 4?
Yeah, I can at least help or coordinate.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have
help.
to do it alone. You just,
Right. Yeah.
you're then the person who kind of can coordinate this a bit.
Yeah, sure.
But really, everybody needs to at least skim through everything to look for sort of overlaps and duplications and so on. So I guess.
Miriam, could I also ask, I think I didn't get the email this morning. Could you send, so I don't have the Word document?
Okay, I will send it around again because I mean, I have already, I worked still this morning on it. So the version I sent around is anyway not the latest version. So after this call, I will send you the version as it is now.
Okay, thanks a lot.
And I don't know, I thought you were on my email list, but I just replied to Valerie's.
At some point you're not on it then, because I think the trouble is we all just use a previous message and reply, and
yeah, I guess so. No problem. I just but I can have it now.
Is there anybody else missing?
I don't think I was on it, and Lorenzo wasn't on it.
Oh yeah, okay, Chris, I don't have you yet on my email list. I think. So I'll try to update that as well.
Could we also have Mike Tildersley as well, because he was quite helpful on writing some of the bits
Okay,
that I put
yeah.
together. I'll put his email address in the chat. If that's all right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Also, I was a bit confused about, is the Slack channel used at all? Or is used only by some people and therefore we just use
I haven't used it recently. Because I mean,
emails is still better because no one is on the Slack, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much activity on the Slack channel, so so I usually also don't look into it. And I think, yeah.
Some people use it a lot, but not everybody. So some people send to both to try and make sure they capture.
Okay, just to know how to communicate best.
Yeah. And for me, it's best to use my university email address because that's another point. I have 2 email addresses, but I mostly use my university address. So if you want me to.
I think I have 3. That's what. Well, it was
3.
I also have a Gmail.
Okay.
Possibly
that's
because.
true. Yeah. Okay. That's
because of the Google Docs.
So right now we have around 9,000 words, and we have to get down to 6,000 words. Is that right? Or and we still have the discussion section to add some more material.
Yeah. Do we have to? I don't know. Do we have to reduce it to 6,000? That would be.
No.
I think that was over optimistic on our part when we set those targets. So, but I think it would be good if it didn't get any longer.
Yeah, I agree.
So, if the discussion or the missing bits could be accounted for by a bit of tightening up in what's there already and making it a bit more concise and removing any overlaps and so on, that should be possible. I think what is it at the moment? 9,000 and something? Yeah.
Well, in Word, it says 12,000.
12,000.
That really is a bit. It really is a bit long.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, I'm sure we can be more concise on, and some points could be shortened because they are overlapping also with other papers. But
that also includes references as well, which would reduce it.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just over 10,000 without references.
But I think it will be worth, when people are looking at sections, making sure that things can't be said a bit more concisely. I mean, it's always easier to write at length, but if one can make it a bit shorter and concentrate on ideas,
usually it gets better than
exactly.
No, I'm sure we will do that still, but so for the persons who work on these different sections, also think about now what could we possibly scratch, what's maybe not really needed or is overlap with other chapters, or could be formulated more concisely, these kind of things. And then I will, in the meantime, I will try to write the discussion section. Yeah, and well, what about the table? Can somebody offer to work on it? Otherwise,
I can try, or I was wondering if, since we have to work each one in one section, everyone can summarize the main challenges of each section. So I can also.
So that we then just collect it into the.
And then,
that's a very good suggestion. So just put the, let's say, these challenges that you think could go into the table as bullet points at the end of the section or beginning, whatever. So they will be then, they will go out of the text and will be added to a table at the end.
Yeah, if there's something, some work to collect or build a table, I'm available too.
Yeah.
As a rough sort of guidance in terms of level of detail, are you expecting sort of like 2 bullet points per?
Yeah, 2,
section,
maybe
one
3
section?
bullet points per section.
Okay.
That's about what I have in mind. So not everything that is named as a challenge, because I mean, there is a challenge in almost every sentence of this text. But yeah, somehow we have to formulate the most important ones. And then maybe we can say also in the table where it is discussed, or I don't know yet. The table is more to have a kind of overview of what's in the text. Because I'm a bit afraid that for people who read this, it becomes too much of, you know, kind of list of stuff. That's a bit what I want to work on still, to make it more, yeah, somehow exciting to read. Okay, I'll try to, after this meeting, also summarize these points that we discussed now to, yeah, kind of that people know how we are going to proceed. I also sent the document as it is now to Hans Heesterbeek, and he, I mean, I told him that we are still working on it and that he can decide whether he wants to read it now or later. And he said, actually next week he has no time because he has other commitments, but the week after that he would be able to read it. So at the end of the coming week, I will send him then an update as far as we've gotten then. And I've also sent it to Viola Priesemann, who agreed to also look at it. And yeah, I don't know when she will have time, but I also made clear that we are still developing it further, and I can send her an update if necessary. So that's all in parallel now, but I do think actually that we can finish this by end of April if we put in some effort and if everybody puts in a little bit of time. So if everybody puts in a little bit of time, then it adds up to a lot of time. And yeah, I think actually we have quite a nice draft now. I'm quite happy with it. What do others think? Do you have an opinion? Do you like it?
I thought it was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed flicking through it. Like you said, it's quite long at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So with some streamlining, yeah, I think that'll improve it. But I thought it was really good. I enjoyed reading it. One thing I wondered about was the end of section 2 with the economic modelling bit and data challenges for that. I wondered whether, to avoid lengthening the manuscript even more, it might be worth just noting instead that there are data challenges related to economic modelling in the later section about economic modelling. So maybe just adding a couple of sentences and then maybe not requiring a full subsection about that, possibly.
Yeah.
Just in an effort to not lengthen it anymore. But yeah, I thought it was good.
That's true. I mean, the only reason maybe why to have it is that the type of data is very different than the other data types that are discussed.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah,
but I agree with you that it could maybe also go. I mean, is there a chapter also on economics? So maybe we could simply refer to that.
If there is.
Yeah, maybe that would be the best solution then.
I don't know whether there's a draft in the Dropbox at the moment. I suspect there isn't. But the most recent one seems to be the 18th of March. So I suspect it's changed a bit since then. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I don't need to know exactly what it looks like.
Yeah,
that,
well, that might give an idea. It's
yeah, maybe we should do that because otherwise.
Sections draft, so presumably it's reasonably complete on.
I guess we could even add a sentence at the beginning, the very beginning of section 2, just sort of being upfront about the fact that we don't try and cover every single type of sort of important data for planning interventions, but that other chapters cover some of the key points or something like that. Only if we want a way out of having to write more about economic data, which I agree is obviously a really important sort of aspect of this.
Yeah, we could. I mean, there is now a remark that that we refer also to other chapters, and there I could simply add half a sentence about the data for economic modeling. Yeah, good idea. Okay, because then I would say we don't need to add anything well, there's still something about at the end of section 3, there is still this mentioning of multiple layers of interventions, so combining different types of interventions and synergy of different interventions. I mean, that's an important point. And Valerie wrote here, expand.
Oh dear, sorry, but that was a long time ago. Not a recent. It may have changed a bit since then.
I mean, there at various places we did mention something on analyzing various types of interventions that are taken simultaneously. So maybe we could add the thing about synergy, which is not yet mentioned there. At that, where was it again? I think.
Yeah, the other thing I wondered was whether in the estimation chapter they might have something about that, about having to unpick the effects of different measures or anything like that. So yeah, I could contact whoever's doing that one and then possibly put something in and then also point to that other chapter as well. If that.
Oh yeah, there is something about between country comparisons and.
I don't think there's anything much in the estimation paper. I'm currently leading that because we've tried to avoid talking too much about interventions precisely because we assumed to be covered here. So I think if there's anything specific relating to interventions, I would try and make sure it's covered in this paper rather than estimation.
Yeah, maybe I'll shift this into the section 6 and add there something on the synergy between interventions.
Yeah, I can make sure that's added while I'm editing that section.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's potential overlap there as well. So in the surveillance data section, we write a bit about sort of when you have multiple interventions coming in at once and basically all your data streams become overlapped. So you might want to keep an eye on that, Ben, when you're doing section 6, just to make sure we don't duplicate.
Yeah, or at least cross-reference to that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Ben, are you happy then if I ignore in section 3 the stuff about multiple layers of intervention? So I won't add anything about that there. But
yeah, if you could leave the comments there, I'll make sure I refer to those when I'm editing it. But yeah, I'll make sure that it's covered in section 6 instead.
Cool, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything that we still need to discuss, or do people have questions?
Can I just absolutely clarify the process to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing, Miriam? So
Yes.
if I understand rightly, what I need to do is I need to take section 3, I need to copy section 3 into another document.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go through it with the other people that contributed to section 3, add any references at the bottom, which you'll then put in the main document, and then send to Francesca, sort of like 2 or 3 bullet points summarizing the key challenges in this section.
And also, Robin, if you have any general comments about other parts of the paper, the relation to it, you should put those at the very top of your document so they catch the eye. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, no, and the bullet points, so the challenges for the table, just put them at the end of the document.
Okay.
So that we can collect them. And then, and once everybody has kind of contributed their comments, and you can send me the Word document, and then I will integrate it into the main document.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll do that. And if I do that all by the end of next week, you'll be happy, Miriam.
Okay, that would be great.
Perfect. Cool. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that when you add it all up, we will find it's a little bit shorter than it is at the moment.
Yeah, we will try. I will.
Sub-additivity.
Yeah, that's another, let's say, task I will take upon me, editing the main document, that I try to, see whether there's overlap between sections and try to make that shorter. So yeah, overall, we're aiming at shortening it to some extent. I mean, on the other hand, we have, I think, all the points that we make are important points, and
it shouldn't be shortening just for the sake of shortening.
No,
it's just
exactly.
that if there's scope to do a little shortening, that would be better.
I guess the most likely places, obviously any overlaps, but also anything which is sort of background and is not really needed in order to formulate the challenge. I mean, obviously the challenge needs to be there, and as much context as is necessary to sort of explain it.
Yeah.
But there may be odd bits that are just nice to have, but not essential.
Yeah. Now, one point that's bothering me still a bit is that is now, of course, very much focused on COVID-19. And so at some places I try to put in also some examples from infections that were previously important and will probably become important again at some point. And that have also very different, different type of dynamics, for example, HIV or other STI. So if others also still have examples, for example, I don't know much about veterinary infections, but there are, of course, also good examples for, kind of veterinary epidemics that have a big impact also on economics or on, wildlife populations or whatever. I think that could also be still valuable examples and additions that we could use. Because now it's also focused a lot on human epidemics. Of course, now if you talk about pandemics, you usually mean human infections, but I don't know whether we should be so focused on humans, or whether, let's say, pandemics among animal populations are also part of the picture.
I think we took the decision really in a sort of slightly quiet fashion to focus on human things for the IDP program. Yeah. I mean, because obviously at that stage one was thinking particularly about COVID, And in the previous program, and the 2013-14 program, and the volume in 2015, we did have chapters on plant diseases and animal diseases and so on. But I think here we thought that the focus of the people that were gathered was very much on human diseases. So I mean, I don't think that.
Yeah, so maybe we
making
just
our references, but I don't think we need to feel we've got to be even-handed in any sense.
okay. So we'll maybe restrict that to some comments in the discussion that, yeah, similar and also other questions and challenges occur for modeling veterinary infections.
Yeah.
Because they are, of course, or maybe the economic impact is a much stronger, let's say, factor in making decisions, like policy decisions. I mean, in human populations, it's usually health first and costs are second. At least that's how it's argued. But for like farm animals, the economic factor is probably playing a much stronger role in deciding what kind of interventions are going to be taken.
You probably don't have to worry about behavior in quite the same way, or at least not.
No.
Perhaps the behavior of the farmers, but not the, not the animals.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we keep on meeting every Friday at this time? I think it's a good idea. We should do it, and just to update each other about the process and how it's going.
Yeah. And I think particularly if next Friday, if you're thinking that after that you'll send it to Hans for comments, that would be a good point for people to make sure they are happy that it is in a good state for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any other points right now, so I don't know, anybody else?
No, I think that's all very good. Thank you, Miriam.
Yeah, thank you for all your efforts, goading everybody into action.
It's always slower than I had hoped, but but okay, we are making progress, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you very much.
And thanks, and see you then next week. And if you have any questions in between, just send me an email.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks,
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.